I forgot I have to go mute the channel, or else I hear a reverb of my own thoughts. There we go. All right. I believe we are functionally on the internet.
Wow.
I am.
That's also not a reference to anything.
Yeah. Shh, I love my puns. Yes. This is the group of name to be determined. We are going with Warriors of Eastmount for now, and we'll.
I would like to vote for
For. Yes.
the noise we all made when you ran away from those things.
This is fair. This is fair. Introductory shenanigans. I am Jeff. I'll be your dungeon master. I'm a he himbo, I guess is the thing. I'm not up with the lingo, kids. So he himbo.
You're not hip with the times.
I'm not hip with the times.
You. What is it those kids do these days? Do they dab still?
The kids with the dabs.
They don't, but I do.
Oh God.
Oh, okay. Dad and dabs. That's what we'll call it. That's what we'll settle on eventually.
Pretty sure that's already a campaign, already a podcast.
I did miss.
All the good D&D podcast names are taken.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fair.
What about ADHD and D?
Oh no.
Probably taken.
Probably.
It's so obvious.
If not, somebody get the website now. All right. So this is a session 2. Technically, we had a session 0 and a session 1 off stream, and now we are here to play live. Still with some technical difficulties. I don't have these frames all the way corrected yet. Razzy's camera doesn't work yet. Everything's,
There's so many issues.
But whatever.
We're professionals.
Yes.
Yes.
If you're expecting professionals, please stay anyways, because the viewership's nice. So, starting off, we've got Tay. I'm always backwards on this thing. We've got Tay playing Charlie, the they/them halfling rogue. Umbra's in here with Lucian, the elf monk. I'm just realizing I don't know if I have to reinforce the pronouns. I got them all over the place here. So, help people keep track. But, Jonah now joining us as Ravi, a half-elf bard. And Razzie, our aforementioned not quite having a camera ready yet.
I'll stay Ninja Turtle for this session.
There you go. But we have the Norman, the Furbolg cleric, will be going along. People are level 2 at the moment. Last time in our story, there was the group of everyone from various backgrounds ending up on a ship heading to the northeast, for a lot of them for their own various purposes. At some point in the journey, there was a crewmate that went missing in the night. In the next morning, a search around was unable to find the missing crewman, although at first strangely attractive lady on the edge of the deck grabbed another crewman and pulled them off board, and we were under assault by what some believe are sea elves due to nat 1 on certain checks. Others clearly can see they are sea hags that were attacking.
I'm telling you, it's a sea elf. Like, I don't know what to say.
The captain of the
It's in my
vessel.
notes.
Yeah, you got good notes there. The captain of the vessel, Captain Black Sparrow, the Kenku ship captain, was able to
the best character.
and the best character was able to ward off the hags enough to get most of the people you have here onto a rowboat, and Charlie valiantly dragged Captain Black Sparrow, just unwilling to let this character die in self-sacrifice.
How can you leave a Kenku?
It's impossible.
Out of visual range of the three of you, plus the captain, as those sea hags are hissing and screeching at you from the top of the deck as you try to row away in the storm that has popped up over, supernaturally popped up over the vessel. On the other side of the boat, a half-elf bard was able to sneak past in the commotion and jump into the water. Ravi, as you swim towards the only rowboat that you can see, which is currently bobbing and weaving in the waves, you get over to it and climb up. You can see one crewman that's had their throat slashed by some sort of multi-taloned claw, another that's just completely dead and ghost-like expression on the face. No physical injuries visible, but just laying there lifeless. And another who's bleeding out, holding their wound. With some healing magic you have access to, you stabilized them and were able to essentially row towards something. Too dark, rainy, and stormy for you all to have spotted each other, but you do all end up crash landing on an island where the initial three here have found a camp that is being run, arguably like a very small village worth of people, with it has a dock to a ship. They're not fully sure of the goings-on of the scenario, but they have found some rest. They've met a gnome who is some sort of community leader that the guards of the village seem to respect and bring in on decisions. There's a halfling that Norvin used some detect magic and noticed she has some sort of magical amulet, although not even detect magic could pick out the exact school of magic that was being used for the enchantment. But you have all found yourselves in a, well, except for Ravi, the three of you have found yourselves in a dirty hut with no beds or furniture. You have your own bedrolls and things, which you form a fire and dry out, and they get to use for a rest. Ravi, you and the crewmen have managed to drag the now pretty damaged rowboat off of the rocky shore up into the forest, and get a fire started. And I'm gonna have a start with Ravi making a perception check.
You bet. First one of the night. Let's go.
I just remembered I was going to ask earlier. Do I still, as long as it isn't weapons, I still have it, right?
Yes. The people there have. What the?
Okay. So
Oh,
I would still have painter supplies?
My system thinks I'm trying to get into my Xbox really quick, so my whole screen just went blank. Just spontaneously like, you're trying to get on Xbox, right? And I'm like, no. Microsoft, what are you doing?
It's because they can detect that you're not using their system.
They're like, you haven't played us in so long. I'm like, I have a small child. Leave me alone. All right.
I got an 18.
18 is very good. As a fire is getting started, and you all have made use of this broken rowboat to kind of form a slight shelter, you and Akir, who's identified himself to you, are making use of the minor shelter, but you spot a small glow in the distance. A little flicker to it. It looks like another campfire.
Right. Akia, do you see that? And I point over to the glow.
No.
Wait here, I'm gonna go take a look.
Okay.
And I will sneak off in that direction.
Cool.
Make a stealth check.
Alright.
Time for some Metal Gear shenanigans.
In true form with last week, my NPCs have rolled a natural 1 and a 2.
Again? Are you using
12.
different dice
12,
sets?
I mean, yeah, he doesn't have a plus 10. So you snap a few twigs on the way, but otherwise keep pretty quiet. Even with the dark vision you do have, shades of gray are kind of awkward. But you do come up on, you're within about 20 feet of a campfire lit Kenku that you recognize as the captain from the ship that you were recently on. Is currently like depressingly wringing out their tricorner hat and kind of trying to get it shaken out near the fire and dried out.
Alright.
Doesn't seem to notice your presence though.
Captain.
Goes there and like pulls the rapier out and then lowers it.
Whoa!
As you enter
It's
the
just
light.
me. I'm one of the passengers on your fine ship.
One of the passengers on your fine ship puts the rapier away.
There was another crew member. I'm just going to go back and get him.
Another crew member. Get him. Kicks some dirt onto the fire and just like follows you.
Oh, okay, cool. I lead him back to where Akir is.
God, it's still too hot.
Akir catches the captain and says, "Captain, you've made it again." Always have a tendency to survive impossible situations. He gets sort of a nod and like a look into the distance. He goes, "I dropped several pieces of bacon." And Akir goes, crewmen? Yes or no? No. Passengers? Yes? Yes. Okay. Should we wait till morning or search for them now? Wait till morning. Thank you, sir. Okay. Well, let's get a little sleep and then maybe we can take a look around in the morning. I don't mean to stereotype with the ears, but I assume you can see in the dark pretty well.
All right. Yes.
Good. Why don't you get a little rest and take the middle watch when it's darkest during the night?
Will do.
So yourself and the captain kind of bed down. You get up in the middle of the night. Roll a d12 for me.
A 10.
A 10.
I forget to roll d12s.
Give me a perception check.
One. It's 3. Sorry, whoops. Plus 3. Not a 3.
Oh,
It's a
wait.
17.
Oh, okay. A
heard
total of
one.
17.
That's a lot better than 3.
Goddamn. Okay, so my rolls have gone from 1 to 2. Back to
Oh
1.
boy.
100% increase.
There is a in the middle of your watch, and it's actually a pretty clear night. There is this raging storm that's still going on that kind of caused this whole scenario with the ship and everything. But it's going on, and it's still raging. But it's raging just like half a mile that way, and it's abruptly ends, like clearly a supernatural effect of some kind. But here you have clear moonlight and starlight. There's almost sort of a low light situation, and as you're looking out, you see a small figure, clearly attempting to move stealthily, but moving through the forest, and then its foot just gets like caught on a branch and like and just like crap falls right into a bush. There's a pretty loud crash. You get a really clear look of it. It's small size. It's kind of an elongated head, mildly spiky teeth. With the moonlight and everything, you get a good enough look at it that you can see this is clearly a kobold, but it's actually it's not dressed the way you would expect. There's a series of sashes that are layered in like a almost ritualistic kind of way. There's like bandaging over the knuckles and the hands. This seems like a kobold that's ready to be in a fist fight if need be, but is not looking at you, doesn't seem to have recognized your all's position. From where you saw it crapfall, you can tell the fire light is entirely blocked by the remnants of the rowboat, and it's just like crapfalled into a bush and it's like getting itself up and like continuing to walk on its way.
Do I have any weapons? You mentioned something about...
You had the base equipment for Bard. So
Okay.
probably a rapier and whatever.
Yeah, I have my
pack they
rapier.
start with, and then you have like 25
Okay.
gold or something.
I'll just kind of like go and like just watch him as he goes by and not bring any attention to
Right.
ourselves.
Has not noticed you at all. It kind of rubbed some dirt out of its face. What languages do you speak?
Common, Elvish, and Goblin.
Okay. In a language you don't recognize, it's said that like
Scream.
it kind of like it stops out after it gets up, cleans itself off, goes about 10 feet. It seems to almost just like kind of try to pump itself up a little bit, and like it does some like shadow boxing a little bit, and then like and it kind of gets its backpack resecured and starts just marching off into the darkness away from you.
Okay.
Then the end of your kind of watch period comes up, and Captain Black Sparrow gets up, just gives you a nod and kind of gestures to where they've been resting, and you finish up your long rest. The three that are in the camp with Charlie, Norvin, and Lucien, you get up, backs a little kinked, but successful in acquiring a long rest. Dirty, rocky ground, not ideal spot. There was a good tent over you essentially, but you can hear early morning like hammering and people talking and walking around. There seems to be a pretty active early on hustle and bustle to this small gathering area.
I'm gonna head outside.
Yeah, I'll join.
The simple flap kind of comes out. There is a smorgasbord of just various people's relatively simply dressed. There's people walking around. There's things you do notice off the bat, that, like a few like key points of interest. There is the ship that is docked at the end of this small dock. The dock seems relatively newly built. You guys have just in the nature of sailing here have seen a couple of docks that have been established for a long time. This is very new logs, very freshly carved, and the weird thing is that the ship that is docked there has no mass at all. There's nothing coming, no sails. There's nothing coming off of the ship to indicate how it gets around. It's just sitting in the water. There's a couple of figures. There's a couple of figures on the deck, kind of overlooking the camp. The most activity that is currently happening is over kind of to your all's left, where you see Brock overseeing a small group of local people with hammers and chisels, and they're going at the like upturned root system of a stump that had been dragged there at some time, and they're kind of just chiseling away at it. You would also see the guards are mostly not present in the immediate like goings on of the town, we'll call it, except there are 3 guards currently walking around with an older half-orc gentleman that is kind of coming near, and you'll see people walk up to him occasionally, and he does some sort of exchange, and he like seems to sign some kind of paper and hand it over to them as they hand over something to him, and he kind of stores it away, packs it away, and then moves about walking around the village.
Do you think that's the guy that's in charge of this place?
Probably. I wonder what he's handing over to them.
Why don't we go over and see what the fuck we're supposed to be doing today?
Yeah, they said we'd be able to make money here, so let's figure out how. Have to find a way off this island.
We talked about, you can talk to the trees, right?
Yeah,
Do you
but
still wanna try that today?
maybe he's the guy we have to give the pearls to.
Yeah, alright, let's go check it out.
So you all kind of gather up your things and head over towards the half-orc, slightly older guy. I should say middle-aged.
Alright.
Go ahead.
No, you can go. It's fine.
We're new here. We don't really know what's going on. You seem like official. How do we get started, I guess?
So apparently one of my friends is in the is in the Twitch chat.
Oh no. I don't
And they're
have it.
calling me out for wearing my partner's sweater. Yes, Crow, I am wearing Finch's sweater.
And I don't remember how to pull that up, so we'll just leave it. There's a bit of a it's like in the middle of like counting, and you can see that there is a villager that has come up with like a pouch that they have like embroidered, kind of specifically tailored to them, it seems, and is kind of like picked out and is like signing off a paper, tears off half of it, hands it back to the villager, and then puts those in a like in a pouch with his copy of the piece of paper, and tucks that away in a little like side satchel, and turns over and goes, yes, you do all look relatively new. You even have pouches on you, do you?
No, we don't.
No.
But I'm really curious as to that paper you handed him.
Yes, well, you
What-
want documentation for your work and make sure you get properly compensated for any of the wares you've found that we can actually make use of and trade off and get you your credit to get you out of here. As soon or, if you wish to stay for your fortunes. I'll start from the beginning. What you will do if you find yourself here is you'll get a pouch and embroider it to yourself so you don't get it mixed up with anyone else's, and you go forth and find these pearls throughout the island, and you'll bring them to me, and I'll take whatever you find and give you a receipt for it, and then I can go examine them, and we can compensate you for any that reach the quality that we need for the purposes that they're sold for. It's all fairly
What-
straightforward.
What is the purpose they're sold for? Like,
Most of them
what-
are used in enchantments and in the identification of magical equipments. So we are looking for pearls of a certain quality that can be used as foci for that kind of spell. Which I could do in the field, but it's time consuming and takes a while to double check. So usually I'll just take some, give out a receipt, and then, when I go, that's my evening's shift essentially, is half the day just sitting there and making use of the pearls and seeing if they're useful or not.
So we just like go into the forest and get these pearls? Like, is there a specific area we have to go to, or can we just go as we please?
Yes, you have relatively free reign of the island. If it's an island, so there's dangers and cautions, and various people have different ways of gathering the pearls. Some people like to go into the water and dive down, and some of the guards have set up a system for that. That seems, unless you have a ability to breathe underwater, the apparatus they use to feed you oxygen can be a little costly to rent, so most people don't go that direction. The most common way is people go into the forest, either assist in the cutting down of a tree to then uproot and bring back for chiseling, but I'm not in charge of how you all divvy up your labor to gather whatever pearls you're doing. I'm just here to check the quality.
I say
So,
we get
like-
started then.
Eliel!
Yeah.
You see there's a call out to someone, and one of the villagers walks up, and it's Ingram. Yes. What can I do for you? It's like, yours have been identified, and he pulls out two very nicely sized, pretty uniform black pearls, and he's like, you only had two in your batch that were worth anything for our purchases. Here are those. And then if you bring those up to Theodorus, I double checked your balance. You still are in debt about 5 or so pearls, but this will take a knock off of that if you'd like, or you can hang on to them and trade them within village if you like. And he's like, there's only 2 of them. It's like, I know. 1 or 2 of the others looked promising, but didn't hold their muster. There must be some sort of flaw on the inner workings that is not visible on the outside. My apologies, sir. So it's like, it's fine, Ingram. Thank you. And he kind of like goes back, and it looked like he was maybe gonna take the day off, but instead like kind of like just cracks his back and goes and grabs a chisel and starts getting to work on the root system that everybody else is kind of chiseling away at.
We have to go into the forest, right? Are we allowed to get our weapons back to go out there just for protection?
The guards by the gate should have put your weapons in a safe storage place, so they should be able to retrieve them for you when you need them.
Okay.
All right.
I say we head out, start collecting these gems, these pearls.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Very good. I would, it's not my business how to tell any of you how to do your jobs, but I've heard word of cultists on the other end of the island do some sort of dragon cult. I don't know. I'm not involved with any of that. I don't intend to. So be aware of any of that happening. It's never good. I mean, the dragon that once inhabited this island's been dead for a century, so I don't know what they're doing, but just a heads up on that.
That doesn't sound ominous at all.
Thank you. We'll stay cautious.
Strange phrasing, but yes.
Stay alert.
And he kind of like just writes the satchel. All right. I have a few more places to stop, and then I need to get working on evaluating the pearls that have been handed over today.
Okay, so I think we march towards the gate. Walk over to the gate to pick up our weapons and head out.
Cool. There is a guard over by a kind of a soup pot that's on the way on the kind of the upward trend there, and he goes, "We're all wanting food today."
Do we still have our rations?
Any rations in your base equipment? You would have, yes.
I shake my head. No, I'm good for today.
I'll take a bowl for the road. I mean, if we don't have to sit here to eat it.
He picks up like a logbook, and it's just like, and name.
Never mind. I'll just start gnawing on my rations.
He's kind of like realizing that there's a bookkeeping process on the stew there. Just go
I don't
like,
know how to do math.
There are
intelligence is 10.
There's a pair of individuals that it looks like they've gone through the process of getting their weapons checked out. They're kind of halfway up the ramp to the gate. A guard. No, kitty, it's bad, kitty. There's a guard by the stairs that basically asks your guys' names to go get your weapons, and then one of the two guards at like the base go into where they are storing weapons, which is like they just go down the dock and up onto that ship that has no masts, and come back with a crate that has your guys' weapons. And it seems like they have a pretty good cataloging system because they come back with the weapons that you guys had checked in last night. There is a pair of individuals halfway up, a little nicer dressed than most of the people that are hanging out in the camp, but they are clearly like waiting for a chance to like go out the gate as you all are starting to approach.
I'm gonna ask the person renting out weapons, how much does it cost to rent out our weapons?
The guard's like, I mean, these are your weapons that you brought.
Yes.
So you're not so much renting them as checking them back out. So
But does it cost anything to hold them?
Oh yes, of course.
And we can't just keep them with us?
Well, in the village, no, that would be incredibly unsafe for everyone.
Mine is just a stick.
I've seen men do terrible things with a stick.
You make a fair point.
I've seen women do much worse things with a stick. That's not what I meant.
I'm just gonna grab my weapons and mutter on my breath, "It's fucking ridiculous," and just march out of the forest.
Don't worry, it's all in your logs. And they you guys just grab your weapons and start heading up. There's a clear
I didn't get an answer to my question.
What was your question?
Well, my follow-up question is, how much does it cost for you to hold them?
Oh, it's 5 credits a night. It just goes on you.
Credits.
I mean, that's all Ingram and Theodorus that work out exactly what the credits translate out to. They just tell us the credit system and we enforce it for whatever services are done.
Is it per weapon or is it just per person?
It's per person.
Okay. So it doesn't increase if I had more weapons.
Yeah.
Good to know.
We just check your weapons to you, and then you check them out.
Okay, so I take my weapons and we march into the forest.
I'm gonna
Sort of following you out the gate as the three of you come out, and they kind of move those spiked wooden logs, out of your way. There's a pair of individuals that are like, I'm very sorry, but would you all be interested in teaming up? We have no other protection. No one else seems interested in going out into the forest today to search for any easy finds. It is myself and my brother. I am Astril, and this is Holas, and we are best for scouting and attacking quietly and stealthily. We're not great at the chopping part for the trees, but we are.
Oh God! Do you have anyone that is good at the chopping part?
So as
I'm a furball, so I count as large. I don't know if that counts.
Oh wait, you're a cleric. Because I was just thinking 3 of us have dex-based characters.
No one strength, wisdom.
I have high wisdom. I'm a monk.
Cut that tree down with a herring.
4 more hands couldn't hurt. We'll help you along.
I mean, even I believe we both have hand axes. With a good quantity of people, we can watch each other's backs and get out there and keep everything
All right.
off and good.
I wouldn't mind that.
Very well. Let us match. Now 5 of you start marching into the forest, almost immediately out of earshot of the gate guards. They kind of turn to all of you and go, so what do you think about this situation? I'm not, I have many questions. I don't know I don't know how I feel about it, is what I'm trying to say.
Lucian leans against her bowstaff. I have one word that I feel accurately describes this situation, and that word is bullshit.
I see.
It's clearly not the best, but if they're the only way off the island, we'll have to make do.
Goddamn capitalism. I became a pirate to escape capitalism.
Yeah,
what's going on with Brock and the guards? Like, there's some weird energy between those guys.
Oh, the little gnome man who kind of
Yeah.
operates the chisel thing. I think Brock has been here too long to care what happens exactly. That's the vibe I get.
Yeah.
They were kind of like giving him looks like they were telling him to shut up. Like, is there something that we should know about this place that nobody's telling us?
Oh yes, there is a horrible demon chained up under the boat. I am joking! This... That's nothing. They have a magic crystal thingy that hums or something and it goes.
I have a question. I
Yes.
have a question for you. How did you end up here?
I came here on purpose. I was meant to come and gain pearls and find my treasure, find my wealth, and you get nickel and dimed. If you don't get enough every day, then you kind of fall behind.
Second question.
Holas here, he got injured the other day and had to take a few days off to keep an eye on his leg, so we had to...
I imagine that didn't work out.
No, not so much. But do watch that language you use sometimes when you're in the camp. Talk like that can get you disappeared.
What, saying things like bullshit?
Oh no, I mean the talks of questioning the system of how things work. I've seen it happen before. I would be very cautious.
Last question. How many people here ended up because they were shipwrecked in a storm?
To my knowledge, not many. That doesn't happen that often. There are storms very often, especially to the west. Every month or so there's some horrible storm, but it never quite reaches our shores.
And you don't find that curious?
No,
That it
not
never
really.
reaches the
It's a
shore.
world of strange happenings. I've seen many crazy things.
To be fair, I mean, that is a good point. To be fair, I am training to breathe lightning.
It doesn't seem like it has a very high oxygen content. I would be cautious about this.
Of course, I'm just trying. I'd like to have all the knowledge.
That is fair.
We'll watch what we say when we're in town. We don't want to upset anyone.
Well,
I think we should watch what we
Speak for
say in
yourself.
front of anyone, not just in town.
that could be fair. You never know when there's guards and ne'er-do-wells that have landed, especially if you're saying there's shipwreck, there could be others. And who knows their intentions.
You never know who's a narc.
That's fair. I do suspect the
Point.
Brock man, if he's been here this long and has not been crushed under the debt of the goings on, to the point that he doesn't even really do work anymore. He just rents out his tools and like oversees things.
I imagine renting out your tools would probably make him a pretty penny.
I imagine he gets a percentage. Yes, I think that's something I have not personally signed up to, and pearls that way. But I do imagine he gets a hefty percentage.
Yeah. Currently, this is out of character. We're gonna chop down a tree and find pearls inside the tree, correct, or is it in the stump?
In the roots.
In the roots is where you all have been known
Okay.
to where the pearls are. But you don't actually have to do that. You can also just go out and do things in the forest and
Yeah.
hope that
I-
other stuff happens.
So,
Norman, do you still want to try
Fight
our
a
plan
demon.
from the other night?
Who, what, in the west?
yes, but I would advise these two go and scout ahead for us. Make sure there's nothing up there.
I
That's
can
true.
go up too. I'm pretty good at that.
Excellent. Another
I'm not-
scout is always useful.
Actually,
I must
looking at all
ask.
of it, everyone except you and Mike, Lucian points at Norvin. All of us except you seem pretty good at being sneaky. No offense, but you are wearing heavy armor.
Heavy armor
Yes,
has its
I,
place.
I do not hide the best, but I make up for it in many other ways.
Everyone has a use.
It's fair.
All right, let's
Every
go scout
crewmate
up
has
ahead
their
then.
place.
I do want to ask something before I decide exactly to what percentage to risk my life. I would like to escape this island, and I'm wondering if there's, maybe not immediately, of course, but if at some point in the future we could rely on useful people to help us in acquiring the means to get back to mainland.
The moment he says
I mean-
acquiring, Lucian just gets a devilish grin on her face. Just, I'm listening.
I mean,
All hypothetical,
we
of
want to
course.
get off
Oh, of
this.
course.
At least I want to get off this island as quick as possible. I think we have a plan. If it works out, we might be able to get a few people out of here. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
This could be quite
Yeah,
useful.
we'd like to help ourselves and any others we can while we're here, and hopefully make it to our destination on time.
That's very good. Yes. Perhaps we should head northward. If there was heavily beaten storm, we might get lucky and find a tree that has been knocked over without much chopping.
Good idea. Check the coastline.
Indeed.
We could also check for other survivors if there were any other survivors from that storm.
It sounds like a plan.
Yeah, that's true. Numbers would be good right now.
We're gonna.
Alright, let's go scout ahead.
Yes.
I will as well.
The ahead is just everyone except Norvin.
So I'm doing this for a reason. As everyone goes ahead, Norvin, not wanting to show off his abilities to everyone, or especially the two new travelers just yet, as they walk away and they disappear from out of our distance, because they do head on into the forest, or like, I don't even know which direction they're heading. They head off,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
Norvin leans over to the tree and is like, I want to save all of you. If you give us all of the pearls you are holding right now, I will guarantee you we will make sure no more of you are chopped down.
Make a persuasion check, but make it with your wisdom modifier.
Okay.
So if you have proficiency in persuasion, add your proficiency bonus. Otherwise, just a wisdom check.
17.
17. You watch, and as you're looking at this tree that you have asked politely for it to give up its pearls from under its roots and within its roots, you look at the lowest branch and you swear you see the leaf like shake a little bit and other leaves shaking, and you're watching it and you're having a very hopeful reaction until you realize it's the breeze. There is no response from the tree about just giving you the pearls that are within its root system.
Was I supposed to roll a stealth check?
Not as of yet.
Okay.
I would say go ahead and roll stealth checks and have them ready to go. Ravi,
Yes.
you have awoken. There's the crewmates are getting themselves geared up, kind of picking up camp, getting ready to get going. There's a relatively sunny day, partially cloudy. These pretty dense forest going on in this place you have not had a chance to explore yet. The captain and the crewmate kind of like nod at each other. They seem to be doing some sort of like rudimentary sign language to each other that you do not understand. And the crewmate kind of looks at you as you're getting up and getting your own gear on. He's just like, I mean, we're gonna use this hard tack because it's not gonna be that good after a day or two after getting soaked like that. So the captain and I are gonna do some exploring. Recommend you do the same. We'll probably meet back here tonight. This boat's not gonna float. So
I can see from the sizable hole in the side that that's probably accurate.
And it sounds like the captain had a mishap with the boat that he managed to get out on, so we're a little stuck. So exploring the shoreline, looking for anything intact enough to get out of here is probably our way to go.
All right.
So I'm gonna take sort of south along the coast. Captain's gonna be going north along the coast. Why don't you head eastward inland if you can find the other side?
I could head straight in.
Yep. Head inland and see what you find. If we don't see you back tonight, we'll look for you tomorrow. If we don't find you after that,
You're dead.
good luck.
Then I'm probably dead.
Probably. But you never know.
Probably.
I've run into men
hopefully not.
that fell off a boat 3 months back. You find them on an island growing pineapples in the sand. Stuff happens. Best of luck.
Commanding a crew of crabs.
Harpooning crabs
Right,
for 30
then
yards.
I guess I head directly into the forest then.
Yes. Let's get a perception check from Ravi, and we'll get let's hear those stealth checks from the others.
I rolled a 15.
Nice.
I rolled a 7, but my stealth is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Rogues.
Rogues, yo. Ugra has had something dramatic happen. Or got up to grab something. So Ravi, what was that? Yeah, what was that perception?
Yeah, my perception was a 22.
Ooh, Nelly. You at first hear from well out of sight. Well, I assume the clanking of armor. Let's have Norvin make a self check while we're at it. I believe should have disadvantage given the armor type.
I rolled a nat 20 on my stealth.
Nice.
I think that's my first nat 20.
Mm-hmm.
I just turned into a ghost.
Invisible.
Norvin, can you get a stealth check
Me? The big guy?
Yeah, the big
That-
guy. You probably have disadvantage, and I don't imagine you have a huge bonus to it.
You'd be right. That's a 9.
That's a 9. All right. So, Ravi, you are hearing the clank of heavy armor. You hear more cautious footfalls, probably good 30, 40 feet ahead of where you can hear the clank. You're making all this out without even having spotted anyone yet. You come around a group of trees, and you can pretty plainly see a cautious front guard of 3 individuals kind of walking up through a dense, kind of a dense bush area. Let's have, I want Ravi and Charlie and Lucian to give me an insight check.
Ooh, I have advantage on those.
Oh, yes.
Oh, natural 19.
Uh-oh.
Plus 0, so 19.
That's a 1 and a 2.
Dang.
So I believe that's like a 5 total. Insight is wisdom, right?
Yep.
18 for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a 5 total for me.
Nice. Ravi, you are approaching, and you get a pretty good sense that these are like regular adventure people. You actually, as you looked at them, you go, "Oh wait, you recognize them from the other passengers of the boat." You're like, "Oh hey, you all have probably shared meals together on the boat." The 2 people you don't recognize, and you don't see Lucian at all. I think everyone has lost track of Lucian, but you see the 2 you don't recognize have a look of recognition, like they look around, and they kind of look back at Norvin, and then as they kind of move up past the bend, you watch as they try to slyly draw weapons and make a move at Charlie.
Okay.
Which is the exact same moment, Charlie, you are also like sneaking ahead, and you all have been like spreading out and making good moves. You notice them kind of crowding you a little bit, which is not usual stealth through things, and you make the connection that you have just gotten out of sight of Norvin, and you don't see where Lucian went, and so you get the read that these 2 are trying to kill you, and they've found a moment where you're out of sight of everyone else, and they're about to jump you, but you made your check, so everybody's rolling initiative. Nobody's surprised, except for Norvin.
Do you still want me to roll initiative?
Yes, still initiative.
As I see them draw their weapons,
Now I
shout.
roll a 19.
I'm going to shout, "Look out!" And then I'm going to draw my
That's
sword
a
and charge
20
in.
That's a 23 total, by the way.
That's a
So-
3 from Norvin.
Oof.
I'm clearly the last one to react in this situation.
Right. Let's get initiative from Charlie and Ravi.
13.
Nice.
A 23.
Ooh. And that was a 22 on Ravi, yeah?
23.
Oh, 23. Oh, okay.
Oh, we both got a 23?
There's a lot of 23 going on.
I guess so.
Wait, we both have higher... Wait, what's your dex, then?
My dex is a 3, but I do have Jack of all trades. So
So I go
So it gets an
first
extra
because
one.
I have a higher dex.
Jack
Yeah.
of all trades says do the bonus there.
At least the rolls are higher than last week.
We don't talk about last week.
You don't talk.
Ashley Johnson, who?
Those
didn't
4
happen.
5s in a row really killed.
Well, you know what? I'm rolling 3s and 9s, so you know.
I'm rolling
Far
surprisingly
away
well.
are we?
I'm
How
just
far
sitting here
away
like,
is everyone
nobody's
from?
died yet.
Yet.
Alright.
Nobody's died. Yet.
Yep.
There's still
Uh,
time.
Switching in the other campaign I'm playing in, we're all level 12 now, which means I've finally broken 100 hit points. and going down to 18 is a little bit scary.
Oh yeah. That's always gonna be an awkward time.
Terrifying.
So I have a mildly new setup and must move a few things. It's one of those, this is a good idea, it'll work really well. It's like, yes, had you had the time to troubleshoot it. So, we have not yet had a chance to get the bases painted here. And let's mute that chroma key.
Vito.
So, we have Norvin as the large armored figure, who is back a ways. Whoop. Get you over there by that tree. There's pretty far off Ravi over there. There is completely hidden from sight Lucian up over here. And then up about there, these two kind of moved in to flank on Charlie as everyone kind of realized what was going on after getting in a position where they went through a little denser
Those
patch.
are some thick trees.
Yeah. Yeah, they have grown well given the fertilizer they have, which I hope you guys.
Pearls.
There were so many turtles died.
Oh.
80,000 turtles died in the date 85. No.
10,000 years ago.
10,000 years ago.
I did shout, "Look out!" to everyone.
That is a thing you do on your
Everyone.
turn.
Oh, yeah,
we
I
have
guess.
not gotten to yet.
Before.
So
I wasn't able to beforehand.
at 23 are a bunch of people. So we are technically starting with Lucian and Ravi kind of going simultaneously. So there is a shouting of "look out" and weapons starting to get drawn out of Ravi and Lucian. What are you doing?
I heard this.
You have heard a "look out," and you actually, as you were on the approach, you kind of, you are just well hidden because of your own ability to be not that, just to be not
I'm
seen.
too good at being sneaky.
You kind of had that look back, and you saw the scenario where they're getting ready to shank the crap out of Charlie.
I'm assuming they don't see me because I rolled a freaking.
Oh yeah,
20
no,
on stealth.
you can assume they didn't see you.
Okay, I'm gonna go up to the one on the right, the one closest to me, and bonk him on the head with my bow staff, two-handed.
Gotcha. Whoop. Roll an attack.
Is it advantage because I'm
Yes, you do.
sneaky?
Yes, you have the sneak advantage.
Cool. That is a 14?
A 14 does hit.
Okay, cool. D8. 10 damage.
Nice.
And then I'm going to use my bonus action to punch him in the throat.
Oh, a whack. Go for it.
That's a nat 20.
Oh, jeez. You'll double the dice.
Yep. Oh shoot, I only have one D4 out.
Oh, you just roll it and then double the whatever the dice rolls, and then add your bonus.
Yeah. Okay. That's a 3, so 6. Another 10 damage.
Done.
There's a whack on the head and a punch in the throat. There's almost that split second of like, what are you doing? But then people are like, oh no, they're trying to kill Charlie.
And suddenly they just see a very angry looking half elf.
Yeah.
No, not half elf, a moon elf. Just
Yes.
stop.
A
And I end my turn.
Yes, very well done. And Ravi also going before anyone else can really get off the bat there.
With my shout, I'd like to inspire Charlie.
Nice.
That's a D6 you got there.
Do you have
And
anything?
then I will.
D6 already.
It's a D6 off the bat.
Yeah, it
Oh,
starts at
damn.
D6. Yeah.
I guess,
Yeah.
Did they buff Bard?
No, Bardic Inspiration's always been a D6. Guidance is a D4.
Yeah.
Mm.
What does that do for me? Sorry.
So it's a D6 that you can add to an attack roll, an ability check, or a saving throw.
Sweet.
It just basically anything except a damage roll.
Yep.
I think so.
Yep. Yeah, if I was a Valor Bard, you could add it to your AC too, but
Mhm.
alas.
Yeah.
Thank
Oh
you.
god, imagine giving that to the Forge Cleric.
Oh no.
I
And
could
then
already have
charge
it.
up. I will charge up, draw my rapier, and charge at the orange one.
Gotcha.
Just poke him. Just poke him a little bit.
Yes. It's like the
You have the
what we do in the shadows. I was called the poker.
you have the movement to get up there, so you can use your action to attack.
All right, cool. I will do that. That is. Oh gosh, I gotta pull up my stats. All right, that is a 21 to hit.
That is a hit.
All right, so that's. Oh, nice. So that is 11 damage,
Nice.
and that's my turn.
Now, they are a little beaten at this point, but they are still determined. It's not like they're going to be able to back out of their strategy. So the one who you had been talking to is just like, well, let's try to make the best of this, and pulls the short sword.
I have
And-
made a mistake.
is going to be attacking Charlie, and Charlie is not surprised, but they are flanking. So there's an advantage there.
Come on, that one.
No, that's
Going.
my ones and twos are over apparently.
Right when we start combat.
They do not have an expanded critical range, so that's good.
That is good.
There's a build that I found. I can't remember it, but you can get crits on like a roll of a 16.
That
This is
sounds.
dumb. This is
It's
broken.
terrifying.
That sounds
it's
like
also
my.
terrifying.
I had a
level 20 build.
I had a
to be
third
fair.
edition character with 6 attacks around, with a 8 to 20 crit range, with a pair of Vorpal Kukri. So, that was that.
Did you make your DM
Fine.
cry?
No, that was the purpose of that particular game, was to do something really silly. So it was engineered for that purpose.
My
Wait, what did
favorite
they roll
thing.
again? Sorry. Go ahead.
So that is 13 damage to Charlie.
Ugh.
13?
13.
Oh, that's almost all of my hit points.
Oh no.
So Charlie
Oh, no.
is currently conscious, yes?
I have 2 hit points left.
That is
Sonic.
explaining why he's going to
Sonic
go
the
for
Hedgehog.
attack number 2.
Quote Sonic the Hedgehog.
No,
Oh no.
you bastard.
Is this the one that I just bonked on the head?
Yes. He is
You'd think he'd be attacking me since I punched him in the throat.
He is no, he's not. This is not an instinctual creature. This is a cold, calculated murder
enough.
the best target to murder, and then move on to the next target to murder. That is an additional 7 points of damage to Charlie.
No.
Charlie goes unconscious
Charlie, no.
and falls to the ground after some successful stabbings.
This is the first time in D&D history that I've reached 0 hit points.
Oh no!
Nice.
You can also,
It's an
just
achievement.
as a reminder, you can add Bardic Inspiration to your death save.
Nice. Yes.
And you can add the Bardic Inspiration after you roll the death save, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be before the DM tells you if it's a success. Which,
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
But those
yeah,
are
that's
set
the
DCs,
tricky
yeah.
thing about death save is like because it's set
like,
like
you immediately know
range.
the answer.
I will head
Yeah.
off at the pass of that rest of that discussion and just say I'll allow it.
Cool. My
then
favorite
we can move on.
DM phrase. I'll allow it.
Yeah. Bad TV judges and DMs. I'll allow it. Moving on, I believe to Charlie.
Uh-oh.
Be rolling a death save.
Yep.
Come on,
And
nat
I
20.
can add bardic inspiration after I know the
Yes.
number.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sweet. That's awesome. It's fine. It's a 16.
Nice. If you want to burn your inspiration, I would say I would allow it to put you at or above a 20, which would bring you up to 1 hit point. If you want to try
Is it
that.
worth it?
No,
Is it worth
for
it?
now I'll just take the
Yeah,
success.
don't.
Just take the 16? Okay.
If you roll a 19, though, burn it.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, with a dropped Charlie in the center, the other one kind of spins around. After being hit by the rapier, you can see the visage that was essentially a slightly different copy of the other guy fade away into a long gray-haired. You're not 100% positive of the race, but there is a female, very sneaky, loose-robed lady that spins around, drawing her own short sword, and is taking a swing over at Ravi.
Is it the same thing that attacked us on the boat?
You recognize the fading of the magic, but it is an entirely different entity. It is not a horrific sea creature. It is arguably a hot pirate lady, for lack of a better term of.
Oh no! Oh no!
I did so many descriptions that I could have just started with hot pirate lady, and we'd all gotten the impression.
She was hot.
She's a hot pirate lady. So that is a 12 to hit.
That misses.
That misses, and then a natural 20.
Oof.
I think that hits. I'm not sure though.
This is the third 20 tonight.
I'll have to check.
This blue die has been doing well. So that is
Then stop rolling it.
that is 10 piercing damage on Ravi.
Oof.
The short sword. You managed to duck the first one, and then she actually just twirls it in the hand and stabs you in the back after going too far on the first thrust. You feel it sink in, and be like, and she's just looks Ravi in the face and goes, "If you walk away, you can. We're only after these ones." Up next would be Razzie with North.
Okay.
Can I as a free action just say something back to her?
Back to who? Oh, she didn't say
Just
anything.
the one
to
who
you.
just.
Oh, Ravi? Yeah, you could free action say something back.
I'll say, well, now that we've traded puncture wounds, I think we've got a bit of a connection.
Just has anyone seen the classic movie Orgasmo?
Oh,
I've
but
Repeat that name,
I've heard
please?
quotes.
It is made by the creators of South Park. It is about
of course.
It is about a Mormon missionary. This is pre the Mormon musical theater thing.
Book of Mormon?
Yeah, pre-Book of Mormon. But it is about a Mormon missionary who ends up defending himself at at a home where a porn shoot was happening, and his martial arts prowess impresses the director so much that he's hired on as an action adventure porn star, who is still Mormon and will not do any of the sex stuff, but he is also a theater major, so it's his big chance to act in a movie and make enough money for him and his fiancée to get married in the temple. Many themes are had, but one of the moments is someone saying be like, "Oh yeah, you don't have to do any penetration," and he's like, "Penetration? Who's gonna get penetrated?" Hence my connection to this moment of misunderstanding the term penetration. So there's also my favorite line of any movie ever, where people say Jesus, and he goes, "Where?"
My favorite thing when I startle someone and they yell Jesus, I'm just like, nope, not quite. Although I've been told the resemblance is striking.
So, tangents aside, Norvin, you have had time to decide your course of action.
Yes. So I can move diagonal, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'll move diagonal forward 3.
Yep.
And then forward 3 more.
True.
Yeah.
Yep. right up into the thick of things.
And then I want to point at the one that just down Charlie
Yeah,
and use Toll the Dead
nice.
and just say die as I
Excellent
point at him.
spell.
It's a wisdom save.
Wisdom save. Oh my. That is a save.
It's a 14.
That is a natural 20.
That's a save.
Which my natural 20s are now being set aside until I have gone through my other dice, and then they'll be rotated back into service. Because they're overperforming. They're overcompensating for the earlier 1s and 2s.
They're overcompensating for last week.
Yes. There is a physical manifestation of the necromantic energy that would normally... You fully expected to just off this guy with that last move, but he managed to just shake it loose. You kind of see him just plug one nose and like do like a booger shoot, but it's entirely blood out of his nose. He's just like, I'm afraid that's not for me for today, my friend. I always make it out.
Are you sure about that?
So, anything else from Norvin?
No.
You do still have a bonus action if you have a bonus action spell to do. Since you just used a cantrip.
I do.
We're wondering whether or not
Oh, I do. I do have healing word from prepared.
There is a dying party member.
Yes. I forgot about that. That is my bad.
Thanks.
So yes, I cast healing word on Charlie
What is
at first level.
What is a word in particular you'd like to use?
Yeet.
Yeah, yeet. Yeet.
Yeah,
As I cast this
Yeet, yeet.
beam of healing energy towards her.
Nice. That's a D4 plus your wisdom modifier.
Yeah. That's a 7.
7. Charlie, there is a moment of not bliss or serenity or anything of the sort, but just a moment of calm as you hear waves against the sandy shore, salt in the air, a good amount of sun coming down on your face, and you see a certain barkeep look down at you and just be like, "It's time to get up, kid." And then your eyes open and blink out some blood, and you are still pretty heavily wounded, but you are conscious with 7 hit points.
Fuck. Ah!
Realizing there are still swords spinning and clashing like directly over you. But excellent. Moving around over to Lucian.
Okay, so I basically want to take my quarterstaff and baseball the guy I was hitting into the tree.
Nice. Go for it.
That is a 14.
14 just hits. Yeah.
Yeah. That's 7 damage.
7. You crack him right in the ribs, and he does like up against the tree, and he kind of he coughs out a fair amount of blood. You heard a snap and then look down and realize it wasn't your bow staff.
Oh, thank God.
He fully just drops his sword and is kind of leaning up against the tree. He seems like he's still conscious, but he is disarmed and he has blood dripping out of his mouth. And he's like, "Oh, this is not. It's in my day. Is it?"
I took it. I look at the other two. Someone make sure he stays there. Then I'm gonna go over to the other one and kick them in the side.
Right.
With my bonus action.
Go for it. And you are flanking.
Flanking.
Roll with advantage.
Doesn't matter. 2 15s.
Yeah, babe. Yeah, go ahead and roll damage.
It's a D4. That went on the floor. That is 7 damage.
7. Nice.
Just like a snap kick to the side.
Right. Just kind of all half tumble around and then kick in the side of the head. And she is not looking great either. And we are coming over to Ravi.
Oh, yes. Okay. I guess I will take a swing at her.
Nice.
We'll use that one. Oop. That's a 2 plus 5.
That is going to miss.
So 7.
Oof.
Alright. And with my bonus action, I'm going to cast Healing Word on myself.
Smart.
And my word will be ouch!
Ouch. Hey, I feel fine. Or it could just be shit.
That also works.
Right.
I get 5 hit points back.
I always feel better after swearing. All right. So you heal up a little bit. A missed rapier attempt, and the thinly mustached, now heavily bloody mess of a man up against the tree is just like, perhaps, my love, you could help out a bit. He just keeps coughing blood out onto his shirt. But first up is actually Charlie. I imagine you want to stand.
Yeah, I want to stand up. And I'll pull out my rapier and attempt to attack at her as well.
Nice.
Rapier gang.
Gang gang. That is... Ooh, not good. 12 to hit?
12 is actually a hit on her.
Oh,
Ooh,
okay.
low natural armor.
That is...
Oh, they're probably not wearing armor, are they?
He is. She is not.
Sorry, that didn't land.
Aha! Natural armor class.
That is 9 points of damage.
9 damage is just enough. So you get the rapier kind of through, you're pretty sure a couple of vital organs, but it hits the tree on the other side of her for sure. And she kind of like, the force of the blow makes her like drop her sword to the ground. And she's just like, I'm afraid you misread that situation, my love. And she just falls unconscious up against you as you kind of withdraw your rapier from her abdomen. They are both down. She is unconscious. He is conscious but coughing out blood. So it is a question of
How can I misread that situation? They fucking killed me!
Oh, I don't think they were talking to you.
They were talking to each other about misreading the situation.
You pissed off a dragon monk.
You have that moment
I'm
of
embarrassed. I just kind of shoot my rapier again.
Charlie has that
They
moment.
didn't expect the trees to start speaking Elvish.
Right. Charlie has that moment of thinking that she was talking to them, and then kind of realized that she was talking to the guy who is currently like coughing the majority of his fluids out onto the floor.
Do I have rope? That is the question.
Always the question.
I do. I'm going to just tie the hands of the one that's still conscious.
Okay. Sounds good. Give me a... Let's have everybody give me a medicine check.
I think I'm proficient in those. Not sure. Maybe not. I am. That's 19 total.
Nice.
Oh, I have proficiency in this.
5.
I rolled a 2. 8.
Yeah, I rolled a 4.
Everyone else is in, like, tie them up mode. Lucian, you recognize that they're both dying. They've had several, like, vital areas slashed that are going to relatively quickly, very likely, result in them straight up dying.
Is there anything we can do about it?
You just saw some people throw a bunch of healing magic around, and there's always rags and dirt to stuff into holes, but, how is that sexual?
Oh no! Oh no! I just found out.
No, I
Well-
just thought of stuffing dirt into.
Yeah,
like,
exactly,
bleeding
it just made me
wounds.
cringe.
Great.
Right.
It's just like,
Oh,
I no
better.
longer have a liver, I only have rocks. Oh.
I no longer have any internal organs. It is just dirt. I am the buried.
So I do have proficiency with a herbalism kit, so I would like to look around to see if there's any herbs as we are out, like healing herbs and stuff around as we are out in the middle of the forest.
Sure. Give me a herbalism kit check. Who else has something they'd like to try to accomplish in this scenario?
I'm gonna wipe off my rapier on her cloak or whatever.
Just pull up one
Yeah,
of her sashes and clean your weapon.
I'm going to
Yeah, exactly.
body.
I'm gonna grab the
I'm just
one
gonna
that's still
rifle through her
conscious.
pockets. I'm a pirate. Actually,
Charlie, what were you saying?
I'm gonna grab the one that's still conscious by the scruff of the neck and just scream in their face. What the fuck? What the fuck?
That would be a 16.
16. Nice. I mean, you find some actual herbs. It seems like it's like mint and basil and like a couple other like weird like you find a little like somebody's like cooking patch or something. Which is like, well, I know these aren't harmful, so they'll make a good stuffing dressing kind of thing.
We'll make a good stew.
But you
all
don't
better.
you don't find anything that's going to give you a huge bonus to like sealing up a wound.
Okay.
So Charlie, give me an intimidation check.
Anybody got any pocket glue? Just loose glue in
5.
your pocket?
5. There's a there's some another. Well, there's a spurt of blood anytime he tries to say anything. He's just like, I'm very sorry that I misread the situation. I thought you were enough out of sight to murder before anyone could get on us, and that would give us the advantage we needed. I was
Sorry that we weren't able to murder you quickly.
fairly
Organ
mistaken.
transplant, but they replace your liver with 4 rocks and a living squirrel.
Squirrel on a wheel.
Sounds like a heart
It's
transplant.
like my favorite comment of the night.
I'm gonna be honest, I did not come up with that joke. My partner did.
What could you
This is-
possibly gain from murdering us?
I was just for my last tangent. I'm like stop talking about the American medical system.
Oof.
Oof. Oh man. Anyways, one of my roommates works in a hospital and just got their first half of a vaccine, so that's great.
The half vaccine.
First half.
They
Anyways,
turn into a werewolf.
1/4 portion.
quarter portion. So, Charlie,
I may have some more.
this guy doesn't seem like he's that interested in responding to anything in particular that you have to say. He's kind of resigned himself to his fate at this point. It didn't help that you had your own like blood dripping out of your mouth, so you shout some questions and then go like you're still pretty heavily wounded yourself.
If he doesn't answer, I'm gonna punch him in the face.
Nice.
My
Yeah.
unarmed strike
Oh.
is +0 to hit with like 0 damage, so it won't do any damage. But I punch.
It still does 1 point of damage.
They are 1 blood
Does it?
damage.
Yep. Well, it's
Oh.
what if you want to just slap him in the face instead of like actually try to knock
Yeah,
tooth
sure, I'll
out,
slap him.
right?
It said 0 damage, so I figured if I punched him, it wouldn't do anything.
I could poke him in the throat with my bow staff.
There's a slap across the face, and he kind of looks up and it's just like, "Thank you for the send-off, love." And
Wait, I'm
he
gonna.
does.
I
He
have
he
one
finally
question
falls
for you.
unconscious.
I was gonna ask him why he was French.
Just is. Some people are French.
There is France in this universe.
France exists in this universe. They are a military
from-
superpower in this universe.
Hey,
the real
y'all, we call
fantasy.
French racist. A
What?
baguette.
It's French because my my randomized accent generator in my head always reverts back to either New Zealand / Australia or Zevran from Dragon Age Origins. So
My
For me, it's
default
British.
fantasy.
by default, I'm either always going to
British or
default to
Russian.
Taika Waititi or Zevran. So
For
My
me,
default
British
is
or
always
Russian.
Scottish.
British or Russian for me.
Mine's English because
What-
it's
what-
the. I'm an
what do
actor,
you
so I
mean?
should be able to do a lot. I can only do an English accent.
Like so.
So, looking them over, they are both unconscious. They are not dead. You notice they are have apparently made their death saves and are currently stable. The bleeding kind of stops, but then you notice the chests start to move, like they are still breathing. So they are technically surviving their wounds at the moment.
I look at everyone. So, do we leave them here, or do we drag them back to camp and tell the guards what happened?
I mean, they obviously wanted to kill us for a reason. I think it's best we take them back to town and try to figure out what the fuck that reason was.
Okay, I agree with you. First, and I start rifling through their pockets.
Oh,
Gotta check them.
and I go to the other one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll rifle through the girl's pockets first.
So looking through her pockets, and her dress does have pockets. This is the stance I take on fantasy world building.
Yes.
Is women have pockets. Dresses have pockets because why?
The real fantasy.
Unlike the real world.
Unlike the real world, dresses are made. For
It's always the biggest thing whenever a girl's dress has pockets, because this is the first thing she comments on. She's like,
I know.
"My dress has pockets. Do you like it?" And
It's the cutest thing ever when you compliment a girl's dress, and then they're like,
cute.
"Thanks, it has pockets."
And then they just cram their arms.
They have to prove it. They have to prove it to you.
If you ever want to code in your fantasy worlds that there are women in power in the world, dresses have pockets.
It's true. It's a good
the way
point.
I did it, in one of my worlds, the most powerful wizard in the world is a woman, and she created bag of holding dress pockets.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
So, looking through pockets, they each had a short sword. One of them had 12 gold pieces, and the other has a note that they have hung on to.
Which one was the note on? Because I was searching the woman.
The woman had
And I
the
searched
gold.
the other.
The woman had the 12 gold pieces. So Lucian has. There's a pretty obvious clank of coin as you are rifling through the pockets, pulling out some coins. Then Ravi.
I tossed everyone 3 gold.
Just count out 3 and hand everybody 3 gold. Yeah.
I'm a pirate. Everyone gets their fair share of loot.
Sure. And Ravi, you pull up a note. What were the languages that you have again?
Elvish, Common, and Goblin.
Gotcha. You do not recognize the language that it is made in. More importantly, you take a look, and where they're normally it seems relatively official in its structure, but the signature is just like a dash and a pair of initials. Which is just
Do I recognize like the initial? Like,
the initials
can I
are written
read-
in common. It's just
Okay.
LC.
Lewis
Do you have
Carroll.
any-
Excuse me, IC.
Pardon?
IC. So the letter I and the letter C.
Okay. Any of you know someone with the initials IC?
Do we know what language it's written in? That would help us narrow the search, would it not?
Kind of show it around
I
to
can't
everybody.
tell. Yeah.
So
I showed
who's
around.
got what languages?
I
I
have
know.
Common, Halfling, and Thieves' Cant.
Halfling,
I
common,
know
thieves' cant.
Common, Elvish. I will eventually know Draconic, but only at 3rd level.
Right. You have
Common, Dwarvish, Elvish, Giant.
gotcha. None of you know what this note has written.
Do we recognize the script it's in?
Is anyone proficient in history?
Let me check.
No. I'd have
No.
proficiency.
Half proficiency. I will let Ravi make a history check.
Okay.
Wait, I want to use guidance.
Yeah, you kind of
Alright.
like
Oh, that's a
you go to look
D4,
at it, you give him a pat on the back, guided for an extra D4 on your check.
Thanks for that. Rough. It's a 10.
Total of a
And then
10.
a D4.
With the D4?
Yeah, including the D4.
Total
Yeah.
of 10.
Oh.
You are not sure exactly. It seems an older language. So something could be Sylvan or Celestial or Abyssal. You're
Maybe
it could be Draconic. It depends on the you'd have an easier time knowing if you knew if this was common handwriting or if this is how the letters are supposed to look. And so it's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly what it is. But
Yeah.
it's not a language any of you speak.
So I'm gonna grab the girl by the hair and start dragging her back to camp.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
Ow.
mad.
The headache later.
Yeah, good.
Before she's at earshot, I'm gonna say, I don't trust bringing this note to most people on that island. My vote is we show it to Sophia.
Yeah,
she's the only person there that I trust.
She seems like her vibes check. One more thing, and Lucian turns to Ravi. Who the hell are you?
Yeah, I was waiting for someone to bring that up. That I'm just a random stranger from the woods. I met
mean,
you
you
on the. I did, yes. Thank you for noticing. I'm from the.
I saw you on the ship.
Yeah, I think we shared dinner that one time. I'm
Not
Ravi.
interested.
My name is Ravi.
Well, I'm Norvin.
Nice to meet you, Norvin.
Lucian, and Lucian does a large sweeping bow.
Oh, Ravi. Could not remember my own name there for a second. He does like the one leg behind the other, and the like down low back.
Oh God, do we have two gay idiots?
Almost certainly.
Yes.
I just, Charlie, thanks for helping out. That was a close call back there. I appreciate it.
And I did snag myself 3 gold, so he just rubs the coins between his fingers.
And
Puts them away.
pretty good at stabbery.
Yeah, generally. Are you 3 headed somewhere?
We were just heading out. There's a camp on the island.
Really? Some modicum of civilization?
I wouldn't call it civilization. More capitalism in its purest form.
More of an outpost.
Well,
And
I did find the captain.
Oh yeah, we helped him off the ship. You notice when Lucian had said the word capitalism, they had the face that you make when someone just farted. Just real grumpy.
I think we should go talk to the captain before heading back.
Yeah. Maybe he knows something about these people. Ooh. Would I recognize them as pirates?
Make a perception check for me.
I believe I have advantage on those, or is it just something else? It might
no,
be
it's
just insight and investigation.
Yeah, it's insight and investigation.
Okay. 15 total.
15. You've noticed that the woman you are dragging by the head, her wounds have opened up and she is bleeding out again.
Good.
She is no longer stable. Other than that, taking a look around, you are not anywhere near where the captain or anything else is. You get a good look around, and you don't see anything else as far as a threat going on. But you guys are a good hour walk away from the village.
So, Norvin, now, after the battle's finished, wants to lean over the tree and ask them for help and maybe some pearls, seeing as they've witnessed us have to fight for our lives. So,
Sure. Make a nature check for me.
Little pity party for us.
That would be... what do I got? That would be an 18.
Ooh.
18.
I have a -1 to nature, so...
Oh.
You're a Fearbolg!
Oh my.
Yeah.
It's
It's
also an
intelligence.
intelligence skill for some reason.
Yup.
Why is it an intelligence skill?
It's a
I
knowledge
think it
of
should
nature.
be wisdom, but
That's
Eh,
stupid. It should be
I rule
easy.
it. I rule it as either. Yeah, when I DM.
I find it
Yeah.
as it is book learning about. This is not a survival check. This is your book learning about how the nature
that's
stuff works.
fair.
Um,
I mean, you
the
could just learn by eating a bunch of berries and seeing what they do.
they
Some berries you can only eat once.
Wow, this berry fulfilled my hunger for the rest of my life.
So the trees do not respond, and you know enough about trees that they're not gonna. In a place where the nature is more heavily interconnected, you would expect to have some sort of vibe reaction, whether that be the trees communicating into some kind of interconnected root system or something, and spirits of the forest kind of getting the message that like hostility isn't a good idea, or help us. Any nature spirits could, if you have some pearls aside, bring them on over. But you are deducing that there is no such presence on this island.
So-
There is some sort of just natural-ish growth that has occurred with these trees, and like the pearls are not held by the trees in some sort of mystical way. They just happened to be present in whatever fertilized the where the roots went. So it's more
less like an oyster and more like a rock.
I would say you have, through this kind of like thought process, you've deduced that the trees must have all grown on top of like a pile of oysters. It's kind of the only thing that makes sense for all these pearls being in these trees. The quantity of oysters that would need to like rocket onto a rocky island to then fertilize this entire forest that you're seeing is insane, and you don't know how that could have occurred, short of like the ocean's
Used to be a
level
coral
having
reef.
dropped like several hundred feet in the last 100 years, which you don't believe is the case.
Foreshadowing question mark?
Foreshadowing
One
question
second.
mark. We need a new punctuation. I don't know what the squiggle would be exactly, but it should be a foreshadowing question mark.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But once again, the trees do not hand you pearls.
Yeah.
Damn. I thought that would work.
I want to just see how long have I been walking, like just directly into the woods?
You think maybe like half an hour? You're a pretty good chunk of time away from the from the
Okay.
water.
So probably further than a message away from the captain.
Yeah, you're not within 100 feet.
Have we tried yelling very loudly?
It always works and never has any bad outcomes.
True.
I'm a pirate. I'm prepared for bad outcomes.
I don't know if
Correct.
Charlie is though after
Former
being
pirate.
stabbed.
Not particularly.
Charlie, you have successfully tied up the this man that stabbed you a lot. Give me a medicine check from Charlie.
3.
3. You kind of just are cinching pretty good, and making sure that not gonna go anywhere. You don't notice anything in particular going on, but you've got him tied up pretty good. Should be easy to drag from now on.
I'll just grab him by the ropes and drag him like that.
Gotcha.
Face in the dirt.
All right.
If you point me in the direction of the camp, I can try and head off the captain and make our way there.
Yeah, sure, and I'll point in the direction. We offered for him to come with us before, but he didn't seem very keen on it.
Oh, well,
So
perhaps I will just stay with you then.
and they are pointing the. they pointed the opposite direction of where the captain went north, and they've pointed south, basically southward.
Okay.
I feel like we should still let the captain know, and I mean, I feel like we should apologize to him. He lost almost all of his crew. I don't know. I feel like shit, and
Lucine looks down. I know what it's like to lose a crew.
I feel like there should be more that we should do for him.
Well, if he doesn't want to come, I don't know that there's much we can do for him.
Yeah.
Well,
If you want my advice,
we won't know unless we ask.
Might just be good to let him grieve for a day or two.
Do you not know where the camp is?
Pardon? Sorry?
Does
I missed
he-
that.
Does he know where the camp is?
He does.
I pointed him in the direction when we went. I mean, I'm sure he'd be able to find it pretty easy.
Well, if he doesn't want to go, then I think that's on him.
Yeah, alright. That's fair. And I'll just continue dragging the body behind me towards the camp.
I've never had much luck forcing a captain to do something they didn't want to do.
Oh, trust me, it's never a good idea to try and force a captain to do something they don't want to do.
All right, so who's
Still hot.
who's doing what with what body?
I'm no longer dragging her by her hair.
Mm.
That was just for a while to get. Just she'll have a headache later. We're good. I'm just dragging. Do we have anything that would make dragging this body easier?
You guys have your bedrolls or something if you wanted to double up on the body, but
I mean,
pretty
we
sure
also
mine
have
back at the camp,
Norvin.
so it could dry out.
Yeah, there's also me. I could just carry her on my shoulder if you want.
Oh yeah, we have a big boy.
I am a 9-foot furball.
Oh, my
What is
character's
your
like half as tall as you.
what is your strength score though?
My character's
I count as
5'10".
large.
Right, but what is your
Yeah,
strength
what's your
score?
strength score?
My strength is +2.
Okay. Just because you're large or large-ish doesn't mean you're a horse, but you actually, I think, might have pretty close to the same strength score. So Norman is fully able to just like take the body over the shoulder, and like it's not even really a problem.
And
And
just bring up the rear and play my flute.
Ravi is
Please tell me you're
playing
the lot.
encouraging flute noises as the rest of you kind of get a hold of the man and start moving. There's
You hear the flute music like stop abruptly every so often as he trips. He stumbles and tries to catch his footing.
A disaster day.
As an IRL flautist, I understand that. It's a mood.
Someone who was in multiple theater productions, I know the feeling of trying to do something and then just tripping off stage.
Right. So, you all make it most of the way back to sort of the pseudo township that's going on. You hear some like raised voices, and kind of peering in from the tree line. You can see Akir, who is the crewmate Ravi landed with, kind of discussing things with the guards, and then eventually just throw his hands up and turn around and like start heading back towards your guys' location over in the forest.
I walk up to him, just be like, what seems to be the issue? Translation, what did the captain do?
One of the guards kind of tilts his head over and like steps out a little bit, kind of slowly following. He kind of picks up his pace a little bit and gets up close and goes, I mean, there's this damn outpost over here, and they expect you to check your weapons and just to come in. And it's not like it's a bar. Nobody's walking around drunk, I assume. Who are they?
Who are you referring to?
He points at the like unconscious bodies.
These fuckers tried to attack Charlie in the woods.
I And I'm still looking like pretty rough. Like my
Still good.
nose is still bleeding.
He kind of
I'm
does
like,
a quick like look over his shoulder back towards the guard, which is slowly approaching, and is like, "Let's get into the woods," and be like, he kind of shouts back, "Goes, found some friends. We're gonna go adventure and figure it out in the evening." And the guard kind of pauses and stays where they're at. He kind of half drags you all into the tree line a little bit, and is like, "I need more information. So, where did you meet these people?"
In town.
And they tried to murder you,
Yes.
Outside in the forest, yes.
and you're taking them back into town. Where they're from.
Yes.
Well, we
Yes.
thought you'd be able to do something about it, seeing as we were attacked.
I'm just not following the plan here. When usually people try to murder me, I don't take them back to their friends.
Do you not have a jail or something of the
No.
like on this island?
This one.
they
watched
didn't look
us.
like this when we found them.
Also,
No, I got the point. You found them alive, and then they tried to murder you.
oh no.
I
What
point to
happened
the,
was they asked to come out with us to go pearl gathering. Long story, don't ask. And they attacked Charlie.
Yeah.
We figured they saw us leave with them.
I was using the
and
plural
if
you,
we
but yes.
if we say threw them off a cliff, they'd very easily be like, I wonder where our friends went. Let's ask the only people who went with them.
So some people tried to murder you for a reason you can't decipher, and you want to take them
Correct.
back to their friends.
Show him the note.
Yeah.
Maybe he can
Yeah,
make
here,
sense of this shit.
and I hand him the note. And also, this one, she was masquerading as someone else. So I don't know necessarily if they know that.
Okay, so two things. Magic. Yeah?
Yes.
I assume she didn't have like a fake nose on or anything.
No, it was
no.
definitely mystical origin.
Mystical. Alright. This is gibberish.
Fuck.
It's...
Could just be a language you can't read.
That's impossible. I'm very intelligent. But this is not... This isn't common. This isn't Elvish. And this isn't Dwarvish. So it's not a language.
That's
So he like takes it, literally like folds it and throws it on the ground. So
I
thing-
don't pick
I reached
it up.
down and yeah. I was just like, I can name 3 languages that aren't Dwarvish.
don't believe it.
Elvish
So
or Common. Gnomish?
doesn't exist. So it's a conspiracy
Gnomish
by
don't
mainland.
exist?
Gnomish doesn't exist. It's just
Do you think?
it's like, you know how sometimes people talk common, but they use different
It's like
words
Dutch.
for things. It doesn't exist. Yes, it's like the Dutch.
Lucian's just like, oh god, I'm surrounded by idiots.
So Akira is just like, I've murdered a few people. I don't bring it up often because I didn't like a few of them. The murders, not the people. Obviously, I didn't like any of the people. Well, she was all right. Anyways, I digress. I've never murdered someone or defended myself to the point of killing someone and then brought them back to their friends. Because guess
Exactly
what their
that.
friends
Well,
tend
I
to
think that's a
do?
good point.
They're not
They're
exactly dead.
They're not dead yet, per se.
Kind of like reaches for his dagger.
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay, wait. I think
I mean, maybe,
they've
but
got
not
a
yet.
point. What if we leave the bodies here and let's go talk to Sophia? She knows what the fuck is going on around here, and I trust her. Maybe she can help us out with the shit that's going on.
Lucian
We
has
could-
a very gay crush on her.
Totally
Like-
hetero crush.
Lucian's a girl.
No, I know, it's a joke.
I'm tired.
We could tie them up a little ways away, somewhere hidden.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
All right.
You know,
Don't worry, I know how to tie people up.
cover their mouths,
Don't
cover
ask
their
how I know
mouths
that.
so they can't shout for help, and then try and figure things out.
All right. Come on. leads you guys away. You all find a good, like, kind of natural hiding spot. You finish tying them up pretty well. Okay. The man, as you all kind of like, you kind of stuff the tied up woman into this, like, under some shrubs up next to a one of the trees,
Pile of leaves.
and then put the man in.
Assassin's
The
Creed style.
jostle kind of wakes him up, and he's like,
I gag him.
"What?
I
I'm alive."
immediately just punch
I'm
him
a
right in the face.
He's like, "I'm alive." And then there's a whack. Who's punching him in the face?
Norvin.
Norvin. Roll an attack.
Orvin's got good strength, right?
That's a nat 20 with a +4. That's
Oh,
a
no.
24 to hit.
So a natural
balls.
20
God.
will double the dice from 1 to 2, and then you'll add your strength modifier.
Oh, you're gonna
They
kill
do
him.
2 plus 4
I mean, he
damage.
still might.
It's just a punch.
Yeah.
6 damage
I don't.
for
So-
unarmed damage when you're not a monk is really not bad.
So I do
Okay.
3 damage per.
So there is
strength.
a very loud crunch as you eliminate his still previously existing nose. And there's blood gushing, but he is not conscious. You kind of like have to shake your gauntlet off. And...
Can I make sure
So-
he's still alive?
Wait. So Norvin, feeling the crunch of his skull under my fist.
Yeah.
I'm assuming I immediately know that he's like messed up.
Make a medicine check.
Okay. Where's medicine?
It's under wisdom.
It's a 14 plus 6, so that's a 20.
20. You notice that he is dying pretty heavily. I'll say within the 20 you are able to stabilize him. So he is no longer actively dying.
I was gonna say I have the spare the dying cantrip. I was gonna.
Yeah, that works
Oh, nice.
perfectly. You just pop him with that and he's stable again, but minus a structurally functional nose.
Yeah.
All right.
He took out the moneymaker there.
Akira's just like, I mean, he was conscious. You could ask him a question or two. Never mind.
Yeah, we'll save it for later.
I'm
I
not
think-
going in there. I'm not giving up my weapons for nobody. So, if you're going in to talk to somebody, go.
Can we find you here? You're with
Yeah,
the captain, right?
I'll be here.
Where are you guys?
We were exploring. I got as south as I could go, and it's this encampment, and he's going northward.
Okay. Is there anywhere that we'd be able to find the both of you eventually? Or are you
Yeah,
just
there's a
gonna
camp
chill
up
here?
along the ocean side here, the west side of the island. It's a little inconspicuous, though.
Yeah.
We'll
all
make
right.
her presence known.
I know where it is.
Ravi saw it. Yeah, he stayed the night there.
But you're gonna stay here with these guys
Yes,
for now.
I'll be right here. Hopefully,
All right.
if I don't die from murderers or pearls or
should-
whatever's going on.
We should hurry
If
back
they wake up,
and.
just punch them.
If you're all gonna be in our crew now, which I guess is what's happening, we're gonna have to teach some basic prisoner etiquette.
I've been in a crew before.
Oh my goodness.
Cool.
Oh my goodness. There's so much to
Generally, you
do.
get hit a lot.
They believe there's more than 3 languages, and I believe, oh my god, he's like rambling to himself, like moving some bushes to cover up where the bodies are at as you all head over to
Sky.
to the area.
I'm gonna put that in my notes. Language denier.
Yeah, he's a language truther.
3 language.
There are 3
conspiracy
languages.
theory.
There are 3 languages. The rest are made up as a ploy.
Technically, I look at him. Technically, isn't all language.
Language over here.
Well, it's the same as a real word. Like English is the only real language.
Because people say it's a real language.
Because a bunch of German people invaded an island.
Not wrong.
All right, let's move
Not-
back.
Gotta figure out which century you're talking about, but we'll move on.
That's a good point. That's happened a few times.
Which century? Because saying the Germans invaded has many different contexts.
You can't even say century. It's more like just decade.
Yeah.
Because
Millennia.
like century still covers too much.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
millennia are we discussing? Alright, so you all go over to the gates. They check your weapons per previous per the last time as you all come in. And then make a little mark in their logbook and check all the weapons. You all head down and look around. It's not a huge town, so it's just a quick investigation, and you guys find Safia kind of basically serving lunch around to people. It looks like it's a lunch independent of whatever they're serving off to the side with the guards. But she sees the three that she recognizes approaching, with coming in with a fourth. And she gives you all a nod.
I'll walk up to her and say, like, super quietly under my breath, hey, we need to, like, talk. When do you have some time to do that?
I mean, thank you, but I'm sort of focused on helping people in this charity work for now. I'm flattered, but
Yeah, that's fine, but, like, no, like, some shit went down and
Business,
we
no
need some
pleasure.
advice on what to do next.
Sure, yes, yeah, sure, let's go over to my tent. And she takes you over towards the tent. She's visibly tired. Like, it's the middle of the day, and it kind of looks like she just got up. And is, like, partly serving people lunch, partly getting herself breakfast. But it gets you all over to her, like, the tent, which is pretty similar to yours. Except when you come inside, she has, some chairs and, like, a proper bed. The leather flap doorway is an actual structural, like, wooden door. And she lets you all in and kind of pulls out some chairs and is just like, okay, so let's sorry, I'm a little under the anyways, what's up with all of you?
A lot.
We just got jumped by some people looking for some pearls. We have them tied up in the forest, but we were advised, well, we told probably not the best idea to bring them back in. We also found this note, and I don't know who has it.
Ravi does.
Super tough.
I'll take a look, sure. And she pulls it up and takes a look at it and just goes like, you can see her her eyes going back and forth across the note, so she is reading it, and it's just like, yep, that's about right.
What?
Oh, you can read it?
Yeah,
Right, she can.
sure.
What language is it in?
Oh, just a language. So,
Hey,
anyways,
language, very
so
descript.
kind of deflect. She immediately just deflects a little bit, and it's just like, so there's a. It's phrased with enough probable deniability that I can't use it in particular for what I would love to use it for, but I can't. The reading between the lines of it is that whoever had this note was assigned by the church on the mainland to weed out anyone who would seek to overthrow the operation here and eliminate them.
Which operation here?
Oh,
The whole structure of people going out, gathering pearls,
Here.
debts. Here. I didn't mean the global here, I meant the island here. So, apparently they were spying for the church and luring people out. Probably, I'm going to take a wild guess they asked you some questions before they did anything aggressive. And
yeah.
No, they just attacked us.
I may or may not have
So-
what this whole thing is bullshit.
Yeah.
Gave it
depending-
away just
Oh
quickly
fuck,
there.
we did. They were asking about what we thought about the island and shit.
Well, I mean, several people are unhappy with the area. As long as you didn't bring up any or agree to any idea of like overthrowing the structures or, you know, taking some sort of action against the structure and the people in charge. Lucian, I see the look on your face.
Let's not talk about it.
So, as a rule, people you've just met, maybe don't tell them about wanting to overthrow the institutional structures of where you are until you know
Maybe
what
not the best
they
idea.
do.
That's a
Try
given.
not to
That's
start
why
a
we
revolution
came
with people
back
you
to
don't know.
you. You're the only person
Well, that's
that
the only way.
I think we
revolution
all
starts.
trust.
Well, thank you for that.
You won't tell anyone on us, will you?
On you, no.
Okay.
I feel like you want to finish this shit as much as we do.
She she actually kind of looking over you, puts a hand on Charlie right over where there's this horribly obvious stab wound, and restores. That's 25 hit points. As there's a flash of light under the palm, and I believe you are completely healed.
Yeah, that
I think
did
any
it.
of us have more than that right now.
And
Thank
it's
you. I
you look
appreciate
down and feel it, and there's no scar. It's just it's healed as if it never happened.
Oh dang! A cool scar is always lovely.
I mean, that's true, but I
I'm sure
appreciate the help. Thank
I'm
you.
sure you'll pick up a few before you get out of the island. Is everyone else all right?
I believe we're all fine.
Relatively.
They didn't touch me.
On a scale of 1 to 18, I feel about 13.
On a That's what makes me for jokes.
She just sort of like tilts ahead at you and is just like gives you just doesn't say anything, just winks and you heal 1 hit point.
Oh.
Dang.
Don't take any meaning from that wink. That's a necessity to activate the thing. Don't. Anyways.
You can
Activate
heal
what
by
thing?
winking?
Bobby winks back.
She kind of like looks at herself and like nothing magic happened, and she's just like, "Huh, all right."
Wait, so Norvin chimes in when she says to activate the thing. By this thing, do you happen to mean that pendant? Because it was some pendant that was magic, or
No.
what? What was the thing that was like radiating the?
It was her
Magic
necklace, yeah.
light.
Pendant.
The
Yeah.
pendant of her necklace, yeah.
So Norvin says, "Does that activation has to do with anything about your pendant?"
Lady keeps her secrets, and I haven't finished my morning meal, so. What I will say is
just
what.
before you run out, what should we do with these bodies? Do we?
Oh, I haven't heard anything about any bodies. I don't imagine anyone will miss them. If they're the two I'm thinking of, I believe they had some people disappear with them a week ago and have been lingering around the township, not really contributing in any way, so I don't know if anyone's going to miss them.
If we like bring them back, do we get any kind of reward, or should we just leave them in the forest?
I wouldn't. The Viscount that's in charge of the island has very close ties with the same church. So I would avoid trying to bring them back in.
Do you know where we could meet this Viscount?
He's on the ship. He comes into town occasionally, but he's usually on the ship.
Which ship would that be?
There's one ship.
So we need to get rid of. We need to get rid of these two somehow. Then.
Could always,
I mean, we can just dump them in the forest.
or we could tie them in bags and put heavy rocks in the bags and throw them in the water.
That's
Yes, from the shore.
I like your style.
I can't hear much more of this without risking my abilities, so I'm going to go. Oh, but this is my house.
That's
You
fair.
leave.
Oh, is she a
Yeah,
paladin?
we're in your house. Bye.
Yes. Why don't let's leave.
Yeah, we'll head back into the forest. I will at least.
You guys
Well, Brett has to work.
start heading back to the forest. You go to check your weapons back out. They mark in their logs another checkout. And you
It
all
doesn't
head.
cost anything to check them out, correct? Just making sure.
They've been marking a logbook, but they haven't taken gold or anything from you.
That doesn't answer my
My
question.
guess is
Of course it
that
doesn't.
every time it happens, it's another, like,
Pearl or gold.
Piece
Or...
or something
yeah.
They
There's
did
something.
mention something about 5 credits for holding them
overnight.
There's something
Yeah.
I'll need to explain about like the American medical system again. They don't tell you it's $20 for a Band-Aid. They just bill you later.
But also, if I ask them, they have to tell me.
You'd think
You'd assume, but
there's a lot of like any other Americans watching are like, I mean, yeah, you would think that's how it would work, wouldn't you?
I'm gonna look at
You gotta
the.
ask for
I think
that
the
itemized
rest of
bill.
us are Canadian, so we have
Right.
no idea.
I'm just nobody's gonna get these references but me. Everybody else is like, oh, you
Your
like how you pay for
American healthcare things mean nothing
Yeah.
to us.
like, oh, like how you pay for
Gotta get
parking
that
and then nothing
itemized
else,
bill.
and we're all just like, what?
Yeah, for
What
sure.
is Healthcare.
Yes, I remember dying because I didn't have any money.
Right. Yeah, civilized.
Ah,
nation.
yes, the life tax.
Your free trial of life is over.
Yeah. Oh man. But if we didn't do that, the economy wouldn't function. Be like, oh yeah, no other countries have economies. All right, so.
let's continue.
Moving on. Okay, so surviving an assassination attempt, you all have made it back into the woods. I have to roll a thing.
Oh no.
Oh,
Okay then.
Is that good for them or good for us?
It's convenient for you. So
they die.
you get back to where these bodies were stashed, and you see your crewmate friend Akir is there with like blood and leaves on his hands, and it's like he's clearly like trying to like shut a wound and get it to stop bleeding, and he's like, I'm not a medic. So I'll walk up.
It's fine. Just let him die.
He says when we get back.
He's
We're
just like,
Got some
see
information,
him,
got some
like
information
Uncle
about them.
Benning this guy, and it's just like, I'm not a medic, and we're just like, oh, what did you do?
So
they are both dead. Some net ones.
even though one of you spare the dying on,
Yes.
you should stabilize him.
You would think
No, they're like-
the guy just
Our hands
watching
are-
would
our hands are
be.
clean. They died when we weren't there. As
Yeah,
far
they
as
only
we
died of puncture
know.
wounds that we created.
Yeah.
Not the point.
No. I shut the wounds on that one.
Good point.
There
they're
are
both
there are more
dead.
degrees of separation between you guys and these deaths and my president and an attempted coup. Moving on. Akira is just like, he's like, this one started coughing, and then the blood started spewing, and I tried to fix that, and some things happened. They're both dead. Let's move on with our lives.
It's fine.
That's a
If
good
they didn't
idea.
die, they would have
They were
ended
with
up
the
going back
church?
to telling.
So I'm fine with it.
Charlie, what?
If
Sorry.
they hadn't have died, they would have ended up just going back to the town, and I mean, we would have been killed.
They were gonna rat
So-
you out.
Yeah,
They're part of some sort of vast and horrible conspiracy or something.
the church. So pretty much.
That happens. That's why I spend most of my time on the sea. There's not a lot of churches on the sea.
Which church, by the way, are we talking about?
You guys didn't ask.
What?
You guys didn't ask.
We don't know.
You have no idea.
Well, hope it's not anyone in particular.
So, Akir is like, jeez. Why don't you all try to find the captain? I'm gonna get these bodies disappeared, and then I'll start heading north to catch up with you.
Understood.
Sounds like a wonderful idea, Kia.
This also sounds like a real good stopping point.
So, blood places, people
All over.
with some exhaustions, but I think everyone pretty able to move on with the adventuring day from this point forward, and yeah, we will call it there as you all see the lack of clouds and sun brimming down. You do see the raging storm to your west finally like break and like disappear, and not fade off, but just break apart and stop being there. And then it is a pretty pristine view of the ocean to the west of you. I'm about to trek northward to find Captain Black Sparrow and find out what the curse of these black pearls is all about. To pun your way to victory. But we will see y'all next week, and y'all have a good time, and we'll see you on the other side.
Fun to see you again.
Indeed.
I have a
Wait, what?
question.
Yeah.
Once we hit level 3, should we add the subclass to our little thing?
Yes. You know,
Okay.
most of you will pick up your subclasses at level 3.
I think Norvin already has a subclass because I'm pretty sure clerics start
Mr.
Most,
Mr. Furbolg.
most
at
not
level
being
1.
all, yeah.
I
Yeah,
am
and
forged
Dru-
cleric.
and I think the other exception is druids. They for some reason get it at level 2.
And Warlocks at level 1.
Yeah, warlocks. Warlock is my favorite. It is my most played class. I love Hexblade.
Warlocks are very fun. Yeah, Hexblade is really fun. I'm playing a Hexblade gunslinger in the other campaign right now.
I am too. My character is basically Nero from Devil May Cry.
As a note, using the what do you call it? The like landmarker experience system. So why am I blanking on the words? Probably because I need to sleep at some point.
Milestone?
Milestone, that's the word.
milestones.
So working with milestone, basically, the more tangents you guys go on, you might find gold, you might find treasure, but you're gonna level up if you find a story beat. So if you, depending on what you're gonna accomplish.
So main story equals
Main
level,
story equals levels, random side bits,
equal items and gold.
maybe. Sometimes I have you roll a d12 and see if you hit the 12 and something weird happens.
Oh god, it's wild magic all over again.
Not exactly, but also kinda.
My friend showed me an extended wild magic table. It has 10,000 results.
Oh my gosh.
One of them is
Terrifying.
Is the nearest star just explodes.
That sounds...
Well, that would probably be the sun, so that would not be too nice.
New campaign.
New campaign.
Rocks
Rocks fall,
another
everyone
one-
dies, except the rocks are like the
Another
innards
one-
of a star.
Another one is the sun turns into a smiley face.
Oh,
Oh
Another
my.
one is it turns invisible, but it's still emitting light.
Well, do not, anyone watching, do not take my recommendation for the movie Orgasmo as a recommendation and in the sense of anybody would want to watch it. I believe it was NC-17 when it came out. It might
I've
be
seen
R
Deadpool.
at the moment. I think it is on Netflix. It does not age well in every way. It is from a different social time, and it's yeah, I have some fond memories of it as the movie we would bring on VHS on beach trips, and so it became a bit of a ritual for us to watch. I watched it again recently and went, oh, that joke doesn't hold up that well. But such is all media from the last 20 years. But everybody have a good week. Stay safe, and we'll get into some mischief next time. And I had a better sign off when I did my Fallen Gods campaign, because I was just like, gods be with you, and it made sense because people were all playing like depowered versions of D&D gods. I don't have a pun for this one, but that's okay. We'll just see it next time. All right.
We had like consistently 6 viewers for that whole thing.
Wow.
Oh, that was kind of cool.
Peaked. The channel has peaked.
One of them was my partner.
Hey.
I don't know if my girlfriend showed up at all, but
The reason I was giggling so much is because my partner just kept chiming in with really funny jokes.
oh, I should send
I
the.
think my mom watched
I
for a
forgot to
little
send
bit,
the.
it's not good.
You might
I
watch a little
forgot to
bit.
send the character art.
It's all in.
Anyway, I will talk to y'all later.
Heck yeah.